So these headphones are so big I have to wear a beanie.
Yes.
So I'm going to use this. I'm going to wear this beanie that you made me, but I have a feeling that it's going to be too hot.
Yes.
So you guys might not realize Amanda makes beanies. If you would like one, how do they find out about that? You have to be in our closed group.
Yeah, right now it's just basically closed group. If you can find me on Facebook, you can send me a message through the DMs.
So if you've noticed, when I post videos, I don't ever tag you in them. I just send you a link to it. Yeah. Because weirdos will fucking want a friend request you.
Oh, I get friend requests every day.
Except none of those.
I don't. I don't. If I've never met you in person, I'm not accepting your friend request.
Do not accept fucking any of those. There's always 1 out of 10 is a fucking a weirdo.
Yeah, I'm not.
I even had trouble deciding to friend request you because I had a feeling it's like all no to everybody.
No, that's different though.
Yeah, well I know. Like after a while, it's like I'm sure she wouldn't mind.
I don't even accept friend requests because I don't use my personal page.
Exactly.
I use my personal page only to private message with all you guys, so it just clouds it up, right? They can still send private messages to special operations equipment.
Yeah.
It's more work. I have to click 2-3 times to get there. I don't check them frequently because they're usually asking about an order, and you didn't order off Facebook. So I do that on purpose. They're always like, "Hey, what's up with my stuff?" Well, we sent you a confirmation email. Reply to that, and I make them do that because it says 8 to 12 weeks, and usually it's like a week or 2 weeks. Sometimes it's not, but okay. So what episode is this?
14.
Episode 14, question and answers. And the first one we have here is Andrea.
Andrea.
That's how you say it, right? Andrea?
I think so, yeah.
Did you see she commented.
I think she's been pronouncing her name wrong all these years.
Whatever way you pronounce it is the right way. I mean, she said Amanda is right when it comes to pronouncing her names.
I don't know.
I have to agree with Evan Dixon, Radio Made Easy, SOE family. My background is not in business, but with my shift in jobs, I want to be my own boss. I know as an entrepreneur, I have a truckload to learn. In most topics, I've had to learn. It has been pretty straightforward except for that damn doe. Oh, the rabbit. What a business resource. What are business resources that are most valuable to you? Oh, and I decided to do one last ditch effort on the rabbit. There was at least one fall off despite her squawking. That's weird. I don't ever have females. If anything, they just kind of run around in circles trying to get away from the boys. But I never hear the females be vocal. Now, if you put a male into a female's cage, like she'll castrate him. You'll hear her squealing and stuff, but I've never seen it.
It's going to be him squealing.
So I will see if he is bred and if she is a good mom. I didn't see it. Oh, what are business resources that are most valuable? YouTube. Like at this point, YouTube I think is like the second largest search engine next to Google. But anything you're looking for an answer to is there. And if you have, we have to decide, you're saying you want to be an entrepreneur. What is your income? What are you selling? Are you selling access to you? Are you selling a product? Are you selling knowledge? What are you selling? Because some of that will have to do with what resources you use. Kind of. What I was going to say is if you're sitting in bed, I get in bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and usually we turn the lights off by midnight.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there just searching Facebook, instead of that, search how to build a funnel on Facebook, or just search current algorithm trends on Instagram, algorithm trends on Instagram 2022. That's important too. Find the new videos because those trends change, right? Now on Reels, they have templates. Well, where are the templates? How do you find the templates? Because if you just hit plus from the main screen to post, it doesn't show you templates. But if you go to your page and you go to post and hit the plus on post, now it gives you the option of post, story, or reel. When you go into reel there, now there are templates. Those templates fucking suck. The best way to do it is to just go to the main page and hit the magnifying glass in the search, and 2 of the tiles in there showing you all the stuff will be videos. Click those videos and start scrolling through them and find the music you like, and the one that has template, hit that, right? Well, how do I know that? I know that from watching those videos. I know that from trial and error. But if you don't have a product to sell, it doesn't really fucking matter, like, what you do with your time. If you have to have something that brings revenue in. And what is that? And I don't know the answer to that for you. And I'm sure there's something. And what do you want to develop? But even if you just started, even if you had no product, I guess, and you started building your social media, if you want people to be interested in you, you have to do interesting shit. And I really believe it doesn't matter what you do. The correct people, the people that align with you, will show up if you're showing what you do. So social media, I guess, just take photos of what you're doing, take short video form of what you're doing, and start building interest. And then when you have something to sell, people will buy it because they align with you. They like what you're doing. Amanda, we do like dinosaurs and shit, and she likes dinosaurs and rocks and fossils and stuff. And we go to the antique shows, but the antique shows are mostly like a flea market now. So there's some antiques, but there's dudes selling like rocks and fossils and stones and gems and shit. Well, she found a place to buy those. So now we have fucking 2,000 pounds, like literally 2,000 pounds of fucking rocks. Well, who's going to buy those? She's going to build an Etsy shop, and people will find it through the algorithm. We'll post it into gym websites. We'll post it into oddities groups, but people that watch her social media will buy them. People that watch our social media will buy that stuff. Who buys these beanies? Our customers buy these beanies because they just feel like they know Amanda and they like her. You could buy beanies everywhere, but the person that made this beanie, and she'll build it in the colors you want. So I guess like that. So I guess the answer is just social media. Just search what you're looking for. And when you kind of start searching that, it'll start showing you more stuff like that you didn't know you wanted to see. And a couple pieces of those content will align with you and then be usable. But if you don't have something to sell, it's back to, why are you doing it?
I think that a huge part of you having so many followers on social media is that people relate to what you guys are doing. Like, I've always talked about how I found you guys is I was watching a video about James, or of James, and it auto played this crazy motherfucker burning a patch panel because a customer's being an asshole. And at first it's like, really? And then it's like, but I wish I was doing that too, And people can relate to that. So it's like, try to find something that will hook people, but you got to be yourself. You have to be like, you guys are that, and people want to see it. And if you try to act like you're somebody different, everybody's going to see through it and not want to follow you.
Right.
And you'll have your community that's willing to support you pretty quick.
Kenneth Wilcox says, no question, just love the content. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you. I wish you would have asked a question since you're posting here. Vince Vega, what are the plans to fix the pond? I've heard a few talks about the problem. The real answer is I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. I'm just focused on other stuff right now. It's a big project. We have a couple of options, but they're all going to include moving massive amounts of dirt, and we have snow coming, and I cannot have a mud slick out there for the next 3-4 months. So there is no current plan right now. It's not the thing is, it's not hindering us from anything.
Is there a time where, because I know it's like leaking off of the berm, is that what's going on?
No, it's not. It's leaked out. It's pretty much empty.
Yeah.
So there is nothing more to leak. We could really come in, and that damn wall between the building and the upper part, the part you see, that fucking stupid volcano looking piece out there, we could really deconstruct it right now, probably even with the skid steer. And there wouldn't be any damage. It's out of water. Yeah. And even if it fills with water, even if we had massive rains, it won't fill enough that it'll matter. We have a spigot in there. We can drain it from the bottom.
What I was going to say was, if it's not going to eventually cause more damage, then it's just something that you'll get to when you have time for it.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. It would be nice to, we never have done proper dirt work. because none of us knew how to do that, or we didn't know what was right or wrong or what would benefit. It's one of those things. Guys are like, they want to do these big site surveys and have all these people come in and do all this work. Well, that's $100,000 worth of work on a property when you first start out,
Yeah.
Whereas if you just do small projects, it's like a stepping stone. You had to do those things that you were going to utilize for a couple of years in order to get to the other part and then undo that shit. But the real answer is we bring in a bulldozer and we take some of that dirt from the upper side that I don't think people really realize. When you look out the front of the building, it kind of goes up a hill. And then when you're at the top of the hill, it kind of goes up this way also. We need to push a bunch of that dirt down and take how that kind of goes up. We need to move about half of that dirt down so it's more level, so that we have less of a grade, so that whatever we plant there, when we have grasses and stuff growing there, how we want them, the grass will catch that and it'll soak into the ground right now. Yeah. But what that means is we're going to lose that deep ass pond that's right there. If there's a pond, it'll be down more on the flat part of it. Mm-hmm. And really, do we need the pond? Not really. It's always been just a shithole that catches a lot of debris, and it's just not in a good place. Now, it's in a good place with the idea that it's at the top of the hill because gravity will let water move.
Yeah.
But it's really in the way. Would we be better off having that as grass? And the answer is probably yes, having it gentle rolling. And then we could put in, more swales that would actually grow things, and the swales would catch the water and soak the ground in. But build the swales 20, 30 feet apart so we could alley crop that. So what that would be is you have this swale with trees that produce a usable product, and then the trees provide shade for a ton of plants that produce a usable product in the forms of food or medicinal. And then in between those berms, in between those swales is 15, 20 feet of grass. And then we can just we can move animals through there. So the big thing is just feeding the food. Yeah. And we're working out. Now, with that said, we've not yet utilized anything in the back. We have more property in the back than we do in the front. Mm-hmm. But we've never moved, like, the sheep to the back. So, we could probably overwinter the sheep completely back there. Mm-hmm. We just haven't moved them.
But that's kind of like, I don't know if you set this up exactly like this, but it's separated because that's not where, like, the barnyard is, like, you guys have other stuff going on back there. So
correct.
Is that something that you would be interested in doing? And
yeah,
it's just a matter of doing it.
I need to. It's gonna involve a day or two, mm-hmm. and ideally a couple of guys. We've got Ethan here, we've got Cody. We could knock it out in half of a Saturday probably. Yeah. But I do need to drive fence posts and cross section and set up 3 more chicken pens back there, which probably looks like 100 by 50 feet.
Yeah, you have plenty of that room back there.
Yeah, so the barred rocks are there, and then the Dominics are there, and the Rhode Island, so there's sequester, the Brahmas, so we just have that type of bird there, right? Mm-hmm. And totally could do that. It's fenced back there, the dogs are back there, completely protecting them, but the dogs, especially the younger dog, she will still, and I really don't know what Magnus would do, having been away from birds this long now. But if they're in the cage, he won't go after them. If they're in their pen, he might go after them if they're out of the pen. Now, Hera up there is getting hold of those big, stupid Cornish crosses. They're so slow. She sits on them and then pulls their feathers out. So I found her on top of one the other day, and the bird, I'm like, I should kill that bird. It's just sitting there playing chicken, playing dead, playing possum. But when I picked it up, she had pulled every feather out of half the side of its body. It's just naked. So I took it and put it in a kennel by itself, and the bird's completely fine now. Yeah. But she doesn't go after any of the other birds. So we just need to, sequester them. And really, where does that need to happen? It needs to happen where that big-ass wood pile is. So do we chip it? Do we burn it? I think we just burn it and get rid of it all finally once and for all. But I don't know, man. It's just every one little thing we do amplifies 5 other things. Yeah. And my focus right now is really inside the building. Like, it's cooled off now. We're able to go do more abandoned places. Like, when we were in that last hospital, it was 110 degrees in there. Whereas right now is a sweet spot. We can run around. Nothing's frozen.
Yeah.
If there's water leaks, you're not on an ice skating rink. Yeah. The tunnels aren't frozen out. So now's the time really to do that.
Yeah.
But now is also the time to do work outside. It's not freezing cold. It's not snow.
There's no ice.
Yeah.
And then new product. Like, we're knocking new products out every day.
It's amazing to see that. Like, you guys really are doing that.
We've got we've got a pouch that'll go it will go on any pals. It works good on a vehicle med bag. We can do it Velcro, so it'll go on the M cabs. But it holds 2 dual Narcans. Oh, really? So it's like a TK4 pouch. Mm-hmm. When you pull the tab, it pops them up, but it holds 2 Narcan loads.
I'm interested in that because I've saved a few people not with Narcan because it wasn't around back then. Mm-hmm. But now I do carry Narcan because I know that you don't know when you need it, and you might need it, unexpectedly.
Well, and the good thing is if you give somebody Narcan that doesn't actually need it, there's no harm to them. Yeah. Whereas if you give somebody who doesn't need it adrenaline, you can kill them, right? Uh-huh. So
I don't think there's a lot of dudes running around with adrenaline.
Well,
I hope so. I want
an EpiPen. That's what I mean.
Epinephrine is not adrenaline.
No, but it's gonna behave in the same manner, isn't it?
Shoot them with atropine.
I just want that needle from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I can get you a cool ass glass syringe.
Yeah,
those are cool. So, I guess that's the answer to that question.
The answer is
we don't know.
We don't know yet.
Cody Atherley. I always thought there was a B in that. What do you like and dislike about Tennessee? Do you have any regrets moving there rather than another state? I'm asking because the power plant I work at, it's coal. Dude, I like coal power, man. And I think in the next 4 years here, you're going to see coal ramp back up. I think that they've cut down, literally exploded with explosives, a lot of coal-fired power plants. And what that's about is they know they're going to lose, and this is legacy. Trump can't come back in and turn these plants back on because they don't fucking exist anymore. But... so I don't have a coal-fired power plant problem. Yours is closing in 2032. Bro, that's a long fucking ways away.
Yeah, that's 10 years.
We might not even have these United States. And Tennessee is high on my list of places to move to if need be. I'm currently in St. John's, Arizona. So St. John's, Arizona is actually one of the places I thought that we could possibly end up. I have no regrets at all, none whatsoever, about coming to Tennessee. I've never thought I wanted to go any other place. I've never even thought about having like a vacation home, other than in Tennessee. If we were going to do a vacation home, we would just do like Gatlinburg or somewhere here in Tennessee. No regrets at all. You have anything to add to that?
I'm glad we didn't end up in the desert.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know exactly what region of Arizona that is in.
High desert.
It's still the desert.
Okay, yeah. So that was my plan. We were going from California to Arizona, and we went out there, and I hated it.
Yeah.
So why did you think there?
Because it was easy. It's the next state over, and we could get there in a day, and if we needed to come back, we could, and all that bullshit. And we went and spent a week in Phoenix.
Scoot in closer to that mic.
Spent a week in Phoenix, and I had fun while I was there, but I easily was like, this is not where I want to live.
No. So, I grew up in the high desert.
Yeah.
And I miss the way the desert smells when it rains, but that's literally the only thing.
Yeah, but you only get that once a year.
If that. So, no, I'm glad that we didn't end up in the desert. Would I have followed him to the desert? Yes, of course I would.
She's following me. We're going to live in an old school bus in Alaska.
Well, guess what? That means I'll have plenty of time to make beanies.
Yes.
And I'll have a giant outbuilding for all my rocks.
Yes.
That's weird that you were talking about those rocks.
The beauty is you don't even need a building. They're fucking rocks.
Yeah.
And you'll get mail twice a year.
But the girls have been on the hunt for that kind of stuff since we moved here. That's one of the things, Mexican food, and that for them is the things that they can't find out here.
There's no Mexican food.
There's
a place by our house that's like, okay, it's acceptable, but
I've got two good places for you.
Let me know, because the girls love Mexican food.
Jackson, there's a gas station that has a taco truck in front of it that's fucking awesome, like really good. Jeff and I drove there and stood outside and ate tacos
It's like the closest thing to like San Diego Mexican food you're gonna get.
And then there's actually a sit down restaurant
also in
which won't have no fucking white people in it.
Yeah.
And like I ordered birria and a couple other things, and she's like, "Oh, you know Mexican food," and it's all Mexicans in there.
There's I don't know if you told me this or heard it someplace else, but there's a joke that if you walk into a Mexican restaurant and it looks like the place is about to fall down, that's the Mexican place you need to be at.
I didn't say that, but that's
but
a good...
I mean, like they're talking about like they don't have fancy shit. Like it's just it looks like this is where they're doing some good cooking at, you know?
Well, and I feel like if you walk into a Mexican restaurant and the patrons are Mexican and they're speaking Spanish to the help, it's probably going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely going to be better than...
You go on a Saturday or Sunday where there's fucking laborers.
Yeah.
Like, where we go, there's always some dudes that install swimming pools and do drywall and do paint. When you see dirty fucking dudes in there on a weekend that are working and that's where they're choosing to go, that's the fucking good Mexican food.
We had a place like that near our house in California where it started off as a hot dog truck. They bought the hot dog truck and turned it into a Mexican restaurant. And by the time we left, it had expanded to like 4 locations that were huge restaurants. And you can't order in English because they don't work with that many people that speak English. So most of them don't. You have to know what to say, and like when they call your number and stuff, you have to know what they're.
You have to know what that number is in Spanish.
Exactly.
So Cody, we love Tennessee. Don't regret it at all. 2032 is a long ways away, and we might not let fucking people from the West Coast in here by then. So you might want to speed that timeline up, buddy. We do have coal-fired power plants here.
I would at least start looking at property and getting an idea of what is available right now, even though in 6 months it's going to be completely different. But maybe it's time for a vacation home in Tennessee so that you are, in the right place.
Yeah, we almost made a mistake and moved to the wrong part of Tennessee, but our real estate agent talked us out of it.
Where was that?
Yeah,
Franklin. Like everybody says Franklin's the nice. We wanted to go to the nice. Every time I'm there, I get like a feeling of these are not my people.
It is a different kind of people there, but I don't know that it's technically the wrong part.
That's all the uppity people.
Yeah,
you ain't shooting a fucking gun in your backyard.
No, and I would probably get arrested because somebody would piss me off, like that kind of stuff.
So Dana, that's where Dana and Pierre are.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I like to go there.
Yeah, well, it's very beautiful.
I wouldn't want to live there.
That's
we couldn't do anything we do here there.
Yeah.
If you want to have horses, you got to have zoned, and they're going to say you got to have a 4-panel white fence, and you probably have to have all kinds. You got to belong. Like it costs a ton to do anything.
Exactly, and that's
very historic.
We were there's actual battleground hospitals that you can go visit and stuff.
Yeah, Dana's office was in a fucking Civil War hospital.
Really, that's cool. But just the people, man. And Dana and Pierre are not those people. I'm surprised that they can get along there. They just seem like they're just not me. Like almost they're California people. Almost,
So I thought I wanted to go to Arizona because property was inexpensive. You could buy 60 acres for $20,000. And there is definitely freedom out in the rural parts of Arizona. But we do the exact same thing here with water and forest.
That's what I was going to say. We have water.
We can literally cut trees down and make timber from them. There's 5 or 6 sawmills, within 15, 20 minutes of here. I can take logs there and they'll cut them into dimensional lumber for me. And we have water. I have 3 million gallons in a hole in the back here that Mother Nature put there. We don't have to. When we were talking St. James, Arizona, I think Williams County, Arizona, a few different places. It was 6,000 to 8,000 feet. And inexpensive property, but people are trucking water in. They're literally bringing a tanker truck to fill up water tanks to get through the year. We don't have that here. We don't have any of those problems. And we can grow garden, we can grow animals, we can put fence lines in if we have to. We just don't have the problems you would have out in high desert Arizona here.
Yeah, and that sounds almost unbelievable, but you drive to a gas station in that area in Arizona or even New Mexico, there'll be signs saying, "Don't use our water. We have to truck it in, and it's only for emergencies," or shit like that. That's actually a thing.
So Max's Path. I've never had an issue with any answer I have gotten from you. And a lot of the times it goes in a direction or on a train of thought that opens my mind up to a different way of thinking about something. But at the same time, I've been interacting with you guys long enough to expect the answer to be a bit different. So I'm not in a townhouse, but I am renting a house in a small town. So it is far from ideal. Well, that's still better than a townhouse, though.
Yeah, better than an apartment.
But things are in motion. I don't really have a question this week. Just wanted to thank you guys for doing this. I get just as much out of other people's questions and your answers as I do my own. Love you guys. Thanks, buddy.
I don't know if you know, like, there's going to be a few people, even Andrea kind of referenced that. They're talking about at the end of the last video, you were talking about how you're not sure if they're getting the answers that they want. So they're just telling you that they are getting what they want.
DJ Guzman. Hello, John. Throughout your years of business as a business owner, in all of your personal and professional relationships with people, did those relationships go south, meaning bad? If so, looking back, what were the actions, red flags that you didn't notice at the time? How will you advise others in what to look for or pay attention to those red flags? So, of course there are. Anytime you work with somebody who's a friend, things are going to change. Anytime you work with a spouse, things are going to change. And the biggest thing is, when there's a problem, because it eats at you, it dwells on you, and you don't want to take the action because you're concerned with hurting the other person, or maybe that's why. As soon as you do what needs done, it is a relief, and you ask yourself, why did I wait so long? And I have several relationships right now that were issues in the past, and we are actually much, much better, closer friends now, and have a much better relationship now after the explosion, right? And could I have prevented that? Yeah, some of them I could have. Some of them I knew, and I just let it get to a head. But yeah, I mean, red flags, I mean, you just have to remember, you are the business owner. If that we're talking business, you are the business owner. Do not ever do something within or allow something to happen within your business that makes you uncomfortable. If you dread coming to work in the morning because of somebody there, put something in motion to replace that person. A lot of times I became friends with people that worked for us. We treated them like family. Even after work, we would go have dinner 5 days out of the week. On the weekends, we would hang out all the time. When we would hire people to come work for us, they would move here from other states, and they were part of the family. Like, we were together 7 days a week, which is, it's better as long as it's good and it works. But when it goes south, it's really bad. So I don't really have friends now. I kind of keep distance because of how things have blown up in the past. You do a lot of things for these guys, and then when something goes bad, you're just in disbelief, and it affects you for weeks, if not months, over it. So just have a clear demarcation as to what's expected and keep it a business. You can be friendly, you cannot be friends. And eventually that could change, right? If they add enough value, then you give them some more interest or some more reward or whatever that is. Andy Frisella said, I heard something the other day, somebody was asking him about employees, and he said, you almost have to pay your employees more than they're worth so that they will perform half of what you need, and so that there is not a better option for them. This is going to be the best job they've ever had. Okay. So you almost have to pay them more to get what you need out of them. But you just have to set that, if you have a problem or something that frustrates you, you need to say that right out front when you see it. Don't wait for it to go away, because it won't. It'll amplify, and the problem will get worse, and they'll be more set in their routine of doing something you don't like to do. So just put it out there. And I tell guys when I hire them, and I don't really put out a, hey, will you come work here? We just say we're hiring, and dudes drive here from other states. The people that work for me, my guys that work for me, none of them are from here. They all came from other states, literally the other sides of the United States, because they have a vested interest. They are clearly here to work, and they can't just stay home that weekend. If I hurt their feelings on Friday and they drink through the weekend, they can't not come to work. That can't happen. They're more grown ups. So
that's exactly what I was going to say. Somebody saying their boss hurt their feelings, that's a child saying that.
Right.
So I tell them when I hire them, I go, look, man, I'm going to speak to you very, very factually in as brief amount of time as possible, in as few words as possible. I'm going to tell you exactly what I need, and it might sound asshole, and we might get in something that seems like an argument to you, but you're here because I pay you. If I stopped paying you, you would cease to be here. You are not here because we are friends. You are here out of a business relationship. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I need, and you're going to do that, and then that's going to be the end of it. Now, you can go home on the weekend and dwell over it, but I need you to realize once I have said what I need said, it's already out of my head. I'm over it. I don't need to discuss it. I'm not going to be angry at you. There's not going to be any repercussion. This is just a course correction. I have run this business for 35 years, and you have been in this business for 5 minutes with me. I need you to we do things the way we do them because we have literally tried every fucking thing possible, and these are the things that work for the business that we do. And as long as we can do that, now you can totally come up with new processes and new ideas, and we can absolutely have those conversations. But right now we're going to do them the way I know they work, because at the end of the day we're going to get the results that I require. So yeah, you know what you need within your business, and if you don't, then you hire people that do know those things, and then you remove yourself. But I am involved very much in this business every single day.
In every aspect.
Every single aspect of it. Now, I have people that work in the business that are really, really good right now. I've got great dudes, and I've got great ladies working here. And I have a couple women that I can go to and go, hey, I need this, and this. And they will completely change the direction of the entire sew line within a 2-minute period. And the outcome will be what I need it to be at the end of the day. And then I've got guys working here that are fucking just phenomenal. Like, we have some guys working here right now that I guess the only way to explain it is they're just fucking adults. Like,
yeah, they're doers.
When I turn my back, I don't have to go back and look and see what's happening. I know that what I need done is happening. And that allows us to do some of this stuff here. Like, there's, you go back a few years ago or different points in time, we could have never been in a different building. That was part of our problem on the old property, is that the sew shop was in one building.
That's your weights.
Oh shit.
Your weights are here.
Pause this, yeah.
You mail ordered like lifting weights?
Oh yeah.
That shit's expensive.
Man, having a tractor is the best. That's good. Beep, beep. I want to order enough gym equipment that the whole entire truck is filled of our delivery.
It sounds like a lot of thousands of dollars.
Oh, it is?
A lot.
We'll see what it is later. Back to the hotel.
Man, I'm talking about realest, one of the realest to try. My family